Hello, good evening, and welcome to Auntie Yaa'S Book Corner. It's Sunday, so today is Auntie Yaa'S Cozy Book Chat. My name is Yaafod Atobra, the author of The Beauty of a Woman's Heart that you saw in that video clip, and also my first book, Reflections for a Thirsty Soul. Today, it's going to be a short program, so I need to be off by 5:45 to get on another call, so it will be very short today. But before we go ahead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a little snippet from my first book. It kind of ties in with what we'll be talking about today. So in Reflections for a Thirsty Soul on page 121, it's called Truth. Truth is defined as that which is true according to fact or reality. True being what is correct, accurate, right, or verifiable. We are getting somewhere, I hope, because I always like to start by defining key terms. What was your first lesson or teaching on what was right or true? I'm sure we were all taught some basic principles of right and wrong in our childhood, and especially about the Ten Commandments. Yes, well, today, where the Ten Commandments have been removed from the public domain for fear of offense, the area of what constitutes truth is open to all kinds of interpretation. Truth is no longer absolute but relative. It appears to be okay to lie, twist the truth to serve our own purposes. Integrity has flown out the door and trust is nowhere to be found. So I'll park that there and go share to a few groups, and then we'll continue. When you talk about truth today, it is indeed a very delicate subject because people have different opinions of what they consider to be true. So it would appear that truth, suits everybody has their own interpretation on what is true. But, when we have values like integrity, honesty, what have you, people still live by those rules. It used to be in the old days you could, do a business deal and shake hands on the basis of a handshake and everything was good to go. But today it's a different story, I suppose. So I'll stop talking because usually I have Russell with me. She's away for a few weeks. We'll be back in the next couple of weeks. So while I'm sharing, she'll be doing the chatting. So I'll stop talking because I'll go through, go put it somewhere that get myself into problems. Okay, I'm getting there. I should be with you shortly. So many groups to share to. Sometimes you forget to share to. Let me see here. Oh, the weekend just whizzed by. Suppose we have to go back to work. Now that things are starting to open up, so maybe someday we'll find ourselves back at work. Okay, so let me share to other friends so that they can join us. Okay, so we're back. The topic for today, and let me pull it up for you. Speaking the truth on page 140 and 141 of The Beauty of a Woman's Heart. And I write, powerful words of encouragement spoken to Paul by the Lord emphasize the importance of standing up for the truth. Now, I wrote this and then I just realized that I couldn't even remember which scripture I had based this on. So I went and searched in the Bible and I came up with Acts 18:9. It says, "Do not be afraid, but speak and do not keep silent, for I'm with you." God was telling Paul that nobody would harm him in the particular city in which he was, because there were people there who would stand with him. We live in a day when speaking the truth has little value. Sadly, even believers have fallen into this trap. Speaking the truth comes at a great price. People may or do not want to hear what you have to say. Your motives may be misunderstood, and you may become an outcast or a pariah for holding fast to your convictions. So long as you are honoring God and your intentions are pure, you need not have any fear. We always need to remember that we are to please God, not men. Those who refuse to listen to your words also need to remember that it is only those who truly love you who will tell you the truth. So, truth is a powerful thing. Right now, the world as we know it, some of us grew up with these old values. They call them old school values, whatever they are, right? And so the question that I have for you are, what are your values? Do you still believe in, truth, honesty, or it's okay to tell little lies and get away with stuff or cheat people? So then you have young people maybe in the school system, even they may be cheating or fudging results or copying from each other, and they think it's okay. And maybe you may even ask the question that, okay, people have gone to school, they've got their degrees, but you ask yourself, and I'm just throwing it out as a kind of a whatever question, that you wonder if were these earned honestly. Because if we think that we can do anything we like, we can write whatever, we can say this or that on our resume, even though it's not true. So it seems like we don't have any value, like there's no moral value. And if you're somebody who wants to stick to those kind of parameters, right? Like there's certain defined, how do I explain it? There are societal norms or rules, right? That we all, like rules of engagement, if I can call it that we all live by. And you don't have to be, I'm not even talking about church people, I'm talking about humanity. Yes, Ajodo, welcome. The truth will set us free, and I value the truth. Thank you. Humanity at large, like we all have that value. Look, I'll give you an example. My daughter my younger daughter, the bachelorette is on, so she makes me watch it with her. And then there's this guy, two guys, and one of them knew the other. And it would appear that the one guy was on the program under false premises. They were not coming to find a woman. They were not coming to vie for the bachelorette to marry them, but they were there to be famous. And the other guy knew it, so he let the lady know. And so that person was let go. They let him go home because she can't trust, like, okay, they are doing this show because at the end of it, she'll be getting married to one of them. And if somebody is come there, hello, Mr. G, welcome. Glad to have you here tonight. If somebody is, coming there under false pretenses, and then you end up getting married to that guy, and then, of course, he wasn't really interested in you. He just wanted to be famous. How long is that relationship or marriage going to last? So that tells me, even the guy who spoke up, and later on something else came up, and the way the guy handled it, I thought, wow, that's a man of integrity. He wasn't going to, the other guy told him that, oh, you could have kept your mouth quiet. But he was a person of principle, so he spoke the truth. So that's just one example I'm going to use to illustrate that people still live by those values of truth, because you get known by what you do, right? If people get to know you that, oh, that person is shady, they are dishonest, it follows you. So that's your reputation, and it will go everywhere with you, right? So like even when you come to cheating, I'm saying that in one of the sentences here, I said your motives be misunderstood when you are trying to speak the truth. Mr. G says there are many lies but one truth. If you lie, then you have to lie consistently, but there's only one truth. Thank you. Thank you. I think there's, now that you say it, it brings to mind, and I hope I'm right in what I'm saying. There's a quote by Mark Twain about that. I think that if you tell one lie, you have to keep telling more lies to cover up. And so it becomes a big mess. It becomes a big mess. Oh, good morning. Oh, good evening from here. Sister Abigail, you are still up. Thanks for joining us. I hope your birthday was great. So, like in terms of honoring God, like what blows my mind is even when you are in a church situation and then we choose to be a little flexible with the truth, right? So you would think that if you're a person, let me put the qualifier in. I speak based on my experiences. I speak about them so that people will learn from it. Because I've realized today, I forget where I was walking and it came to my mind. I realized that the way we were brought up in this strict environment that even when we are being abused or being treated badly, we don't see it because all we know is that we've been taught to respect authority. So if the authority is doing something, we won't even question it. But I'm here to say that if something doesn't feel right to you, you need to stand up for yourself. So this is where I'm saying that it would appear that even when you're trying to speak the truth, you become a problem. So you are too much. You're speaking, you can't be that honest. It's not everything that you say that you have to talk about, but the Bible is the found. Like, how do I even explain it? The truth, the word of God is truth. So if we are in those moral settings, faith-based settings, and we can't honor or stand by those truths, then what do we have? Do we have a leg to stand on? Yeah. So I found myself in situations of becoming an outcast because you question things too much. You are being too vocal, right? But I'm saying that as a human being, you should not be afraid to stand up for the truth. Okay, your children, right? Like I explained from the beginning that even let's take faith out of the equation and just talk decent humanity, just common basic humanity, everybody. That everybody knows we are taught from our childhood rules of engagement, what is right and what is wrong. So picture this, you have a child, you send the child to school. You know the things you've bought for the child. So if your child comes home and there's something in their bag that does not belong to them, you, the parent, depending what your values are, will you question that child as to where they acquired that particular something, or will you just let it slide? And so when you let it slide, it becomes okay for that child to continually keep taking things that don't belong to them, right? In the end, they end up becoming a thief because you are not checking them. You are not saying, hey, where did you get this from? Some parent will go to the classroom or go return that item and tell the teacher, so and so came here with this yesterday. It doesn't belong to them. I didn't buy it for them. I don't know where they got it from. And then there'll be a talk all around. That's where you are instilling these values into the child. So I'm saying that you can't, like, sometimes we hate people for being honest, right? I remember years and years ago at work, a friend of mine had made that comment that when they first started, another lady who's also a good friend had told her that, oh, that lady, they don't like her because she speaks the truth. And I'm like, I'll always speak the truth. I'll always speak the truth. Look, I was in a situation where I got embarrassed in front of a whole church setting that when there's prayer meetings on Saturday mornings, I come onto the prayer line and I'm blasting leaders. But if I'm doing a topic about, say, honesty, and everything I picked was from the Bible, that's, like I take the time to prepare because it's expected of me. How about somebody who doesn't prepare and just comes to sit on there and just pray some loose prayers? They are okay, they carry favors. But I was chastised because I did not pick what I was preaching about from some other source, from an encyclopedia. It was from the Bible, but I got into trouble for it. Oh, I cried that day. And one of those people who Usually it's the troublemaker, maybe doing things that they are not supposed to be doing. They were gleeful. The next day they were telling somebody, oh, somebody cried here yesterday. So you see how we hate the truth. And I have to tell this story because it blew my mind, right? And I'm like, okay, what do we have to live for if we can't stand by the truth? Yeah. I'll read Adra's comment. She says, I do not live my life to satisfy people because they do not give me life. I depend on my God, who's my protector, truth, strength, blessing, fighter, guidance, and giver. Ajua, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I respect people, but I'm not afraid of people. I don't put all my hope and my trust in a human being. It is God who has me, and that is what I live by. So the question that I have asking is that, is speaking the truth a valuable trait to have? Is speaking the truth a valuable truth to have? I say yes, because, children need to know what is right. We need to, not children, everybody needs to know, but usually the training starts from our childhood. Everyone needs to know right from wrong. We teach it to the younger generation. We need to have moral values as a society. Otherwise, if everybody keeps doing what they want to do, like what goes on in our country, because nobody is accountable to anybody for anything. So then there's decay in the moral fiber of the society because people refuse to speak the truth or to honor the truth. As I say, and Ajo will bear me witness, so cover-ups, there's so much cover-up, we sweep the truth, under the carpet. But sometimes you can get yourself in situations where you get tested. You might go into an office situation. There might be, yeah. Adjoa says, absolutely, and that's how life should be with honesty. Lies destroy. There might be a scenario, right? You're doing an interview or whatever, and they'll give you a scenario or create a scenario. They want to see what your thought processes or what your values are around honesty, integrity, and those type things. I remember reading something a long time ago about some gentleman going for an interview, and when he went, there was all kinds of things along the way. Like maybe, let's say, I don't remember the story exactly, so I'll give an example. Maybe he saw a tap running. No, somebody had not shut it off properly. He went and he turned it off. The next thing that he got to, he dealt with it. The next problem, oh, this looks weird, he dealt with it. And not knowing that that was all part, a lot of people went through and didn't bother to correct anything. So the person who did all that, they got the job because they had the eye or the presence of mind to say, this does not seem right, let me deal with it, So we think we can get away with anything but the truth. Ajua, thanks. We think we can get away with anything. Oh, hello, Aisha. Welcome. We can get away with anything but the truth still counts. Mr. G has put something here. But in Ghana, we are taught to lie from the youth. If your parents like borrowing, dear, you have to lie. If you own up your parents when the lender comes, run away. Mr. G, you've made a very important statement because this is part of the problem where we've what do you call it? We've now got that disease that I call katasumu, and especially we the believers, because we say we are believers, our children are watching us. You come home and then maybe your mother or your father will lie to you the challenge to go and tell your dad that you need this money for this and this and that. And then the child goes to get the money, but they know too that you didn't use it for that purpose. Or our children see us living out lies like, oh, somebody calls, oh, tell them I'm not home. Or you are talking about somebody at home. Just different things that we do, little petty dishonesties, and our children are watching us. Mind you, we are not saints, but as much as possible, we have to try to live right so we are not sending wrong messages to our kids. And the thing too about it is that it's a wonder that they say when our young people get to the stage when they are going to college and that, they are believers, they are Christians, they go to church with parents, but they start to fall off at that stage because we haven't given them anything to work with. We haven't. They see us going. It's like road behavior. We probably fight before church, go and stand in the church, look holy, listen to everything, but we come home, we don't live by the principles, and we do not apply it. There's one thing I've always said on this platform, and my pastor this morning, as usual, he did it again. Thank you for all your giving throughout this pandemic and this and that and that. He always beats that drum. Why do I say that? Because in our churches, I say that, you know something, Obroni, when they understand what they are doing, they do it with all their heart and all their money. Say, I'm worshiping God. It takes money to run kingdom business. So they'll do their tithes, they'll do their offering. With us, poverty mindset. So we don't understand. We want God. God is a magician who has to give us our every need, but we don't give back to him. He's the one who's giving you the strength to make the wealth. So when you are lying flat on your back and you can't work, where are you going to go? But I say the person will go to church and go and slip $5 in when they can even put 40 in the offering to their understanding, right? Ajuodo says that, oh, say it again, oh, brother G, increase the volume, and you nailed it. Yes. So, where was I? Like, I'm saying that a lot of people see people getting away with wrongdoing. So it minimizes people's eagerness to do the right thing. But if you are a human being, if you're a person who believes in your convictions and you know that what you are doing is right, you don't, there's a verse that says you just go straight ahead. You don't look to the left nor to the right. You stand by your convictions. In the end, you get respect. Yes, in Africa, people hate the truthful people, but like liars. Yes, it's very true, because some of us, we don't do well in some of these church environments because you speak up for what is right and just the way that you carry yourself or do your thing. So sometimes even you become a threat to people for whatever reason, but you are there because you love God, you love the things of God, and you go in thinking, I'm here, I'm worshiping God, but it turns out to be something else. And even it's not just church situations, even in other environments, it's like that. But are you going to join the crowd or are you going to stand alone? That is where most of us fail the character test. Like, you need to be able to stand alone. Miss Sage, hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Happy Father's Day to you, gentlemen. So, I mean, there's a lot to unpack in this scripture, in this piece here, right? But at the end of the day, if it was just about us, I'm sure we'd just say, forget it and carry on with our merry way. But we have the younger generation to think about. What values are we teaching them? You know, it's very sad that you can get a crop of people from the diaspora going back home to try to make a difference. And then they get back there and they meet with all kinds of blockades and stumbling blocks and what have you. They get so distracted, so disappointed, they just pack up and say, I'm out of here. And then they come back to the diaspora, which is a loss, like what do you call it, brain drain. Look at the quality of the caliber of people outside. All these, you know, like, I can't even express it, right? Oh, there's some back home, but if all these people who've run were to even, I wouldn't even say everybody, let's say even a third were to go back to help in rebuilding the country, can you imagine? But because if you go home and say, I'm coming to do this, or I know this company, we want to come and do this, you have to give somebody their cut. Otherwise, they won't sign papers for you and all that. So truth, when we talk about truth, it's a big problem. And the value system has to change. It just has to change. You know, all these things that we're doing now, the youth do not even have a leg to stand on. It's the older people are running the whole show. And so they are looking at it, they are also suffering, and then they'll come in and take over and do the same thing. So when are we going to get better? So I ask the question again, is speaking the truth a valuable trait to have, or is truth relative depending on the circumstances? So Aisha says some people do not want to have anything to do with the truth, and it's very sad. Exactly. So it's like if I see something and I know that it's totally wrong, I lie and say, oh, it's okay, it's all right by me. And what do you get out of that? It's like we are deceiving ourselves by not being honest, right? Like if I write, I'll read the scripture here. Proverbs 12:22 says, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who act faithfully are his delight. And then John 8:32 says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. A lot of people are so afraid to speak up or stand up to authority. If you are asked to do something and it's out of sync with your values, you should be able to say, no, I cannot do this. I will not sign this because I don't want to go down with you when you're going down. See, the harsh truth and such a shame, Brother G. So, it's amazing. I mean, this is a rather short passage, but speaking the truth, I wrote it because from a personal point of view for myself, I found I've been misunderstood on so many occasions because of my convictions. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? Why do you... Yes, truth is the most valuable thing we have. Why do you become public enemy number one? Because you speak up or you stand for the truth. The best thing that you can ever do for yourself is to be real, speak your truth, own it, and then to teach the younger generation. It doesn't have to be your own children. We're all surrounded by youth, and they are watching all of us. So if you think life is just all about you, then I'm here to tell you that it's a wrong attitude to have, because you are impacting somebody. You don't know who. It's not just your children that you have an influence on. So we need to honor the truth. We need to go back to the basics. This is where I come in and I talk about practical nyamisen, because I say the Bible is chock full of truth, nuggets of truth. And yet we, the people who say we are Christopher Mapano, we don't follow those truths. So doesn't it get confusing? Doesn't it get confusing? Like, that you're supposed to be doing this and then you're going that way. And every time you're lying to cover up. Those kinds of things make a person sick. Those kinds of things, like, no. Aisha says truth was considered valuable because it enables us to see the world as it is without prejudice or bias. Thank you. Hey, it's 5:30. At the beginning of the program, I said today is going to be a short program, so I'm going to be done in about 10 minutes. I'm going on a commercial break, and then I'll come back and summarize the points. I have to get on another call at 6, so let's do this, and then we'll come back and talk. Where am I? Take this off. Hello, and we're back. So that is the book, The Beauty of a Woman's Heart. I thank those of you who have taken the time to write me up a review on Amazon. If you've read the book, please write me a review. And also note that The Beauty of a Woman's Heart, the book launch is on July 24th at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. More details to follow. As I'll put the flyers out once they are ready. And on this page, there's been a rebranding in advance of the book launch coming out. Because if you've written books, you must make every effort to put them out there. So my first book is Reflections for a Thirsty Soul. You can find that on Amazon, Friesen Press, Barnes and Nobles, Google Books, and iTunes. And this here, The Beauty of a Woman's Heart, is on Amazon Canada, Amazon US, Italy, Germany, Spain, and France, and also Innovi Books. Okay, and right now on this platform on Sundays we do Auntie Yaa'S Cozy Book Chat, and on Thursdays is Auntie Yaa'S Reading Nook. I just read the short passages from the book, and so that's the theme going forward. And for the Thursdays, I'll be focusing on the beauty of a woman's heart up to the time of the book launch. And after the book launch, we'll be doing reflections also. So we'll be alternating. And this Tuesday, I'll be here with Practical Nyamesem. The title there is To Stay or to Get Out of the Boat. Join me for a candid chat. Last Sunday, my pastor had done the sermon was on Peter and the boat experience. So it gave me this idea. So just do come and listen. And I'll run through the commercials quickly because I have to hop off in a few minutes. So Yaa'S Russell's, it's a, what do you call it? Beauty and natural products expert. So Yaa'S Russell, hence, contact her or DM her for more information on the products, especially Virgin is very good for females. And Shyla, Amajo Adamson's Shyla's Kitchen, also in Fort Saskatchewan. So DM her. Then Adwo Odo does a program on Fridays at well, it's my time, 4:30. Then it's 6:30 Eastern time. Very educative, different topics come up. And on Saturdays, she does a marriage program with Reverend Samuel Okoso. That's also 3 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, my time. I believe this coming Saturday is the first anniversary, so it's supposed to be a wonderful, celebration, but I'll have to talk to you. It's likely I'm going to miss that. My daughter is graduating on Friday and we're having something on Saturday. So I share my power. So we'll talk. And Awomrekwa, lunchtime talk, 1 p.m. BST, 12 p.m. Ghana time, Fridays. Join her. Last Friday, she had Bill Asamoah on, one of the actors, actors from Ghana. She always has different people come on, so very insightful program and life lessons. And then we have Miss Aisha. She has Juice Plus, and then Avon, so DM her for information. And there's Pastor Patience Edwards, Dreamers and Visionaries, Sundays, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm in that class. It's very deep, very insightful. So DM her for more information. And then Mamle Yoko Godwin's EPA Worldwide, a lot of information about parental alienation. Last but not the least, SagesShare.com. Contact me, Sage. She sells all kinds of nice African t-shirts, nice jewelry, and then shea butter products. Okay, so hopefully I got everybody. So like I said, do make it a point to come on Tuesday, 6:30. Mr. G says, in all areas of life, truth stands. Marriage lasts based on truth, but lies destroys it quickly. Look at the divorce rate now. Yes, you are right, because everybody is trying to cheat each other, get the better of each other. Like some of the stories that you hear, so unbelievable. Like you pretend you love somebody and they bring you into a country, and then They go to work, they come home, they find you've packed up and gone off with somebody else. Like, what makes us do those things? Because we don't have truth. The base, our moral values are, are short. Message says, truth like light outshines lies, which is darkness. Thank you. So these are just little reminders. Like I say, speaking the truth comes at a great price, but are you going to back down? No. You know something too? In those environments that I was talking about, I found out that when we had meetings, or church workers meetings or whatever, there's certain questions that I knew that people were dying to ask. But because of fear or timidity or shyness, medium, I don't want problems, people wouldn't. So for me, I'll just throw it out there and I'll say, in my head, I'll say, that's for those of you who don't want to speak up. But why are we so afraid of a human being created by God? Like, that human being is just like us. They have eyes, they have ears, everything. So wherein lies the fear? And my thing, what I found too, is that if I had a problem, I didn't understand something, I went to the source. I went to the person and asked, hey, I don't understand this. That's how I live my life. I'll come straight to you. And so people don't like that. But if you've gone and said something that you shouldn't have said, and I've heard about it, I'm coming to ask you. I'm not going to help you do the katasumu emaso. No, because you might not have understood where I'm coming from, and I need to make it clear. So I'll come and ask you, because I'm not going to go tell 10 million people. No, if Ajua does something I don't like, I'll say, hey, Ajua, can you explain this to me? If she explains it and it makes sense, I go, okay, we're good, leave it. If it's not clear, you say, I'm still not getting it. Can we talk about this some more? But people don't like you, because you put things out there. I can't lie for you, Yeah. So Aisha says truth can change because sometimes people have their own truth and expectations for us based on our situation. But we can change our truth by taking a stand and doing what we believe is right. Yes, we all have, like, what you may think is not important is important to me. I'm not going to lie for you and get myself into trouble if I know it's going to come with some dire consequences. No, I have to be honest with you, right? Like, why should I say, what should I even say? Like, you are going away somewhere for a weekend and you are telling your husband that, it's a work trip or something. Meanwhile, you and some girlfriends or whatever want to go and have fun somewhere. You can't. So you tell me that, I should say, I'm not getting involved in that. No, because I don't want to be part of it. I won't. I can't. It's like even this example about teaching kids the truth. There's an example that my daughter had told me about, and she said in the classroom she had bought some pencils or something, and then she realized that it was gone. So the next day she and the EA are talking, and one of the kids had it. And so my daughter says, this pencil here, I had them here yesterday, now they are gone. And so the EA, they were talking to this child about not taking things that don't belong to you. So they had a talk, right? And so, like, some of these things, some parents, here too, they can be loosey-goosey sometimes. Some parents go, it's just a pencil, what does it matter? No, that is a child. You need to teach them now, not later. It may be too late. This is why I gave the example earlier that if your child comes home from school with something you didn't buy for them, are you going to let it go or are you going to ask questions? So anyway, like today, I'm going to be getting off shortly. We've been here talking about truth. Yes. And I read from, there's a passage on truth in this book as well. So I said, truth is no longer absolute, but relative. It appears to be okay to lie, twist the truth to serve our own purposes. Integrity has flown out the door and trust is nowhere to be found. Mr. G's point about the divorce rate, yeah. So at the end of the day, we are both individuals. You cannot live people's lives for them, but we do know that there are certain values that humanity lives by. And are you going to uphold those values, or are you going to be doing something different? At the end of the day, we all have to live with our consciences. Yeah. So, but the world as we know it, people have come and gone. We are here now. One day we'll also be gone, and more, our kids and whoever will be here. There has to be continuity in society, and we need to uphold these values that we hold dear. Like there's principles, values, integrity, honesty, perseverance, hard work, all that. Lies and cheating. The jails are full because of people who decided to take shortcuts. So I'll park it here. I just came on here to read about speaking the truth. I thank you for joining me. Aisha, thank you for coming. Miss Sage, Mr. G, Ajuodo, anybody else that I missed, thank you so much. I'll be back on Tuesday at 6:30. See you then. Take care. Bye-bye.